said did this, and so everybody is suffering. Oh, it's a plot from Russia. Or maybe it's a plot from the federal of those people who wants to kill all the old people. 60 and above must die. Those rumors. We live in such a world. What we know is what we don't know. There are more questions than answers. Now, there are answers that we can't listen to. We do not know all the symptoms of this disease. We don't know. We don't know when we travel again. Those people who like to travel, like my friend who's sitting here with me, he can't travel. He doesn't know when. So we live in a world when what we know is what we don't know. When will we travel again? Will we ever eat? Will we? I ask myself a question. Will it be normal again? The General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists is saying things look like it not be normal again. So we want to reduce all the pastors. Or we want to say they are thinking that now churches will be of no use. People will be in the houses, and every Sabbath they will be broadcasting from one place, and everybody listens to it. Because we don't know what we don't know. Because we don't know what will happen more serious than what we have right now. We don't know. Now, you know, it has come a time when even science can't solve it. Your bank account cannot solve it. Now, it has so many things to go with it. It has the good part and also the worst part of it. The good part of it is, if you are locked out, like you cannot travel from overseas to anywhere, many times when those people who have money would go and seek help or health help anywhere where there are good hospitals, and plundering their country and taking all the monies there and leaving the hospitals there, now they are forced to find a way. When they are sick, they have to be treated right there. Sometimes that's the best part of it. But we are traveling in uncertainty. It reminds us, uncertainty reminds us that we are not in control. And I want to tell you this point blank. And I want to push it. You will never be control anything. Your money, your degree, your health, your influence, your family will never control the uncertainty of the world. The only person who can control it is God himself. And if you are not a part of that journey, then you will be sorry, because all those things, all those good doctors will not help you right now. If you listen to stories of those people who are really dying in thousands, it's a bitter story. Some of them could not even meet their friends, meet their families, that they only have to Zoom to look at their friends. It did help them, even though we have many things with us. So humans, we have always believed that we can be able to play out the way, because the way we want. God has just shown us that we cannot play it the way we want. Just one time he can stop it. But this has taught us that we are not in control. Yes. Now, the world as of now, it's a fertile ground for doubts. And many of us are now doubting if God is really there. It is a fertile ground of despair. Some of them are afraid. How many people have committed suicide simply because they think they don't know what they don't know? Now, we live in such a world. Life as many of us now are this, because it's a fertile ground for worry, fear, anxiety, and this is because of the days of uncertainty. Life has a way of putting you in a way that no matter how many degrees you have, you will still don't know what is happening. The only thing you know is what you don't know. Life has a way of putting you in that way. Now, if you look into rich countries like here, and you look into food pantries, you go into the shelf of the stores and there is no food in there, just for a little while, how long if it can continue? Life can be that way. That's where the people of God, we are in the journey with God in that first 5 books of the Bible. We can look into it, and we see how God has always been with his people, wandering in the midst of uncertainty. He always have them. God delivers his children from slavery. He delivered them, and you know, he will still deliver us from all these things. These things are just but signs, but they really did not, because they did not even have a clue. The same way we don't even have a clue of what is happening. Now, as they journeyed through, they continued to complain to Moses. Remember that? Now, in Exodus chapter 16, that's where the story comes in. That's where the story, Exodus chapter 16, if you go there at any time. Now, look at chapter 16. As they traveled, they continually complained, even though God was leading them with a pillar of cloud. I think it's the book of Jeremiah. I'll read it when I come across it on my journey. That God, we have always complained, even if God is leading, we have always complained. We are people to complain. Even if God is in control, we are always complaining. They journeyed, but they complained. Why? Because they were in the wilderness, where resources sometimes were scarce. If they were traveling and God was leading, and sometimes there was no water, sometimes there was no good food for them because there were so many, sometimes there were not. And sometimes it was not easy to find everything as you want it. Yes. Many times we have traveled and we know that we serve God, and sometimes but we miss many things along the way, and we ask our questions there. The wilderness took them to a season where they watched the loved ones die, and they could not have a proper burial for them. Now, relate that one here now. In their journey, they could not take in days to bury. Because they were traveling, they will not stop to bury someone because somebody has died in the family. The journey continues, so you have to bury very quickly and leave. And it was a very horrible scenery if you look. You bury now, and people are on the go. So you bury now, and it's happening even now. Somebody you love very much, you bury him now, he dies now, in the morning you bury in the evening. The Muslim knew about this before. Now, it was so difficult for them. The wilderness made them experience many things that they have never seen before. Now, this is why in our journey, there are so many things that are continuing that we have never seen. They are to endure things they have never seen before. The wilderness, even Moses' approval went down because people loved him, but along the journey, sometimes he himself also got confused, just like Elijah, just like John the Baptist, even Jeremiah. Sometimes they can be confused along the way because it's a very fertile ground when there is uncertainty in the world. Amen. There were in the wilderness. The only way that to trust God more than they trusted Him before. Now, if there is a time when people now trust God more than anybody, it is now. Now look, in Exodus, even the waters was turned red and was polluted. Now, in our time now, it is the air that is polluted. Now, if you really want to muscle somebody, take air out from him. It's there. And if you want to pollute the air, and just anybody who breathes it, and that's why everybody has a new face with a mask on, and they try to, and I see many different masks that I've never seen. Because the air is bad in this journey. Now that's what I'm saying, we have to trust God. In the wilderness is when you find, now listen to my description of the wilderness. In the wilderness is when you find yourself in the middle of something you didn't see coming. Yes. That's why we call it wilderness. You are in the middle of something that you didn't see something. Wilderness is something when you did not even prepare for it. Even the world which are riches like where we are did not even prepare itself for what was coming along the way. They didn't know. Wilderness is when you have no clue when it will be over. When a disease enters, they say it's easier to come into you, but it's difficult to get out. That's wilderness. It comes so slowly, but in the end, it's difficult. You go from hospital to hospital to find out how you can be able to cure it. So that is your wilderness. Some of us are going through that thing. You have completely no clue when we will have life again. Wilderness is when you felt it's going from worse to worse. Every day, things are not doing good. That's wilderness. Wilderness is when you have no answers or assurance and a lot of doubt in your lifetime. Wilderness is when you have no sources you can trust on. Now we cannot even trust on our president. He says this one, and he lies this one, and he acts like a lunatic. And that's what you say is what the most powerful leader in the world. And so we are confused along the journey. You know, wilderness is when you hope for tomorrow is diminishing. Now, wilderness is when you are, it's when you have more questions than answers in your life. But in the midst of all the wilderness, here is a shout. I want to shout in this one. Let me tell you a little bit about what I found out in the ministry of manna. Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 6 says, God led us through the wilderness. He led us in the unprecedented places. He kept us in the midst of uncertainty. We serve a God who serves us in all the wilderness, just like in Numbers chapter 14. Children of Israel got into the borders of Israel. And then he tells them in Numbers chapter 14, how can you be afraid with all the signs that I have given you, that I am with you? He reminds the children of Israel that he has given all the signs of leadership to them. Now we are the lucky ones, because we know there is life after every life, and there's a big hope with us. So he has shown us the signs. He has given us the Bible, and he has spoken to us through his prophets. We understand exactly. So how can we be afraid when he has told us all these things? Now, let me paraphrase Numbers 14. How long will it take my people to provoke me? Now that's his question in Numbers 14. 14:11. How long will the people provoke me? And how long will it be that they believe me not? For all the signs which I have showed them among them. Jeremiah verse 2 verse 6 says, where is the Lord that brought us out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through the land of deserts, and of pits, and of drought, and of the shadows of death? That's Jeremiah. Now, we read more about this manna thing in the book, the Bible. Now, there's a time I ask here. Now, after they complained in Exodus chapter 16, so God told Moses that they will receive food from God. After they have even received quails from God, they were given meat, they complained. They were given everything, they complained. So now God brought in manna for them. Now when they woke up in the morning, they found out manna, and everybody was, where did it come from? And so the word manna is not even a noun. People think it's a bread. No, they gave it a name. They gave it a name when they saw it out there, because they didn't know it. They knew where it came from. So they gave it a name. What is it? That is the meaning, Hebrew word of manna. What is it? Now we have that question every day. What is it? What is this Quran? What is this self-distancing? What is it? When will it go away? Will it be enough for our stomach? They ask themselves. Will it be sweet like what we have been eating? Will it be different from all the garlic and all the onions we were eating in Egypt? So what is it? That is the meaning of manna. It's not even now. It is a question. And uncertainly, we live with questions all our time. Why did this happen to me? Why is it me? Why did it not happen this way? Why could I have done this? Why could I have done this? So God gave them manna. And when they saw it on the ground, they asked, what is it? Now, listen to me carefully, because I'm summarizing now. Remember why they were asking that question. There were slaves in Egypt. And the slaves, they didn't know that they can get anything for free. They have to work hard for it. And so when manna came, and it was there for them for free, they couldn't understand this. And even they did not understand, because they know for us to get food, because they were farmers also. They have to have fertilizer, they have to have all these things to bring up food. But this one just came in the morning, and so they didn't even know. So they had so many questions they were asking about it. Now, manna, to me, manna is that moment when something comes in and you cannot take credit for yourself. Now that's my description of manna. Manna is the moment when something comes in and you cannot give yourself a credit for it being there. They knew it was a bread, but they never called it that way. They knew it was food, but they never called it food. They always called it manna. They always raised a question. They will wake up every morning, but calling it manna. Now, for 40 good years, God fed them with manna. And they still called it manna, even though they have tasted and know it. In other words, as we travel, every day there will always be a question, what is it in your lifetime? And that's what they call it for all that time. They call it manna. One of the reasons why manna was not named bread or food is because in the wilderness, you got to live with questions and answers. Every day, questions and answers. And when they ask Moses, what is this? Now, the better part of it today that makes me feel better is not, Moses did not answer them with the answer, but answered them with an assurance that God will provide. And that's what our song we say, God will take care of it. Amen. That's what he asked, he answered them. One of the reasons, in the wilderness, you will be led to a season with all things. You always ask questions. Why God? Why me? Why what? Why what? We live in a world of uncertainty. You will ask, why did I lose my job? Why did I lose my sight? Why am I having cancer? Why am I having all these things? We always live, this world, we always live in a world, in the wilderness, asking questions. Have you ever been in a season where all you have in your mind is questions you faced? We live in a time when every morning we are full of questions. In Exodus, the people would ask Moses a question, but what the reply was and answered was a declaration. Now, brethren, now this is what my major point is. That no matter what is it, no matter how many hard questions we have, God has declared to us that He will take care of us. No matter what. They asked what is it, but he said God will provide. Whatever we are going through, I don't know. When this will be over, I don't know. But what I know is that God will provide. So today, I want you to see these things. Now, things will happen in your life. When God opened the door, which you know about, and you were not even qualified to go through, but you went through, did it come to your mind? And that you can be able to declare that God provided for you for that? This is what God is trying to put into us, that He pushes so that we can be able to know it is God who did, not our own strength that we made it that way. When you predicted the worst, but God brought in the best manner, we can be able to declare and know that God is God. In Exodus chapter 16, for them to get that manna, there were some instructions that I want to come very briefly on them. Now, they were told in Exodus chapter 16, He commanded them to gather it first thing in the morning. Brethren, that's why I call it a ministry. Now, what you do in the morning will determine how your day long will be. So He told them, make sure you gather it in the morning. Listen to this instruction. Make sure you gather it in the morning. That's why I started with Deuteronomy chapter 8, that all this command, make sure you did this. So now, what happened when you did go there in the morning? Because we have this tendency of ignoring things, even very important things in our lifetime. Like how can you wake up in the morning and what you are starting with is the TV, or what you are starting it is any other thing, is your phone or any other thing? Why don't you just in the beginning go? And I want to tell you, He told them everything marinate. You don't know what is it, so start with what you know. Start with God. That would be the best way to go. So He told them, very first thing in the morning, because if you don't go in the morning, you won't get your lunch. And so it happened to many people. And then that's the instruction they told. So I want to ask you this morning, as we want to sum up, that please, marinate. You don't know what's going to happen in the day, but God is leading. So talk to Him. Say, God, lead me. And thank you for protecting me. So start with Him. First thing in the morning. Because if you don't, Now, if Daniel would pray 3 times in the day, and he knew that that's how he could be protected, even when he went anywhere, he went there. Anybody who kneels before God can be able to stand before everyone. And you know it. And you know it. Now, another thing, another instruction he commanded them to gather it. Okay, if they waited for long, it disappeared. You know that. You should read that in the Bible. In the wilderness, how to start your morning, or how to start your morning, I just want to encourage, start God with God and everything will be okay with you. Even if you die in the hands of Him that is able to raise you one day. What you do in this time of pandemic will count. Before you turn on your TV, check on your whatever thing, start with God. Please just identify how good God has done to you. You know, many things happen by night, and God protected you. You have to recognize, and this thing now we have been provided. We have to learn to be grateful to what the Lord has done in our lifetimes. We have to learn to be grateful. We have to start with God to say just thank you. Because Israel was wandering in the wilderness, so we are also in the wilderness. So we have to start with somebody who knows the way. Because I know some people might not wake up and go and pick it in the morning, and they didn't have it. For 40 years, God provided that. So in that one, they appreciate it. God has provided in your lifetime protection to your children, protection to your family, has given you a job, has protected you when you travel. Why can't you even get one time to say thank you to the Lord in the morning? So in the morning, please gather that. Now again, before I go into the second one, now it looks like sometimes, if God has allowed us to be indoors with our families. Now one day I went for an oil change. Before I went the other day, and when I went there, that guy was there, and said, "Oh, so you can also drive?" I said, "Yes. Why not? I think people are indoors." I said, "Why are you here?" I said, I better stay out there with Corona than staying with my wife in the house. I can't take it. I'm sick of it." So I want to tell you, all those God has provided you, are you sick of them or you are grateful of them? Amen. He told me he's sick of it. He's sick of staying in the house. This wife is worse. I don't know whether he was joking or he meant it, but he told me his wife is worse than Corona out there. Now, the second one, you can know, they were told, if you collect, just collect only that which you need. And those who have families home, just take to them. But remember, you read that one yourself. There are some other people in there that collected more than they need. Now what happened the next day? What happened the next day when they went? They say in the worms sprang on them. Now I don't know, but I'm learning something. Now one day at a time, that's the plan of God. Don't get yourself depressed of what is coming tomorrow or in the future. Deal with something that you have today, it will determine tomorrow. And so God told them, just collect for today, because I am the provider. If I provide it today, I'll provide it again tomorrow. Why do you want to go ahead of me? I want to beg, please, brothers and sisters. God provides. And He knows He provides today. God will take care of you. Who take care of you today will take care of you tomorrow. Live one day at a time and start in the morning with God and leave the rest to God. Now, brethren, look at this. Those people who gathered more, some people went there and they found that they have not gathered in. I want to ask you this question. How many shoes can you wear in a day? Do you know that there are some people who doesn't have shoes in there? How many clothes do you have in your closet? We need to learn to have what we need, not to have what we are greeding for. The world is full of greedy people. How many bedrooms can you sleep in? While some other people call themselves homeless. God is never a poor general. He gave everybody, each one of us, everything. But we have come in the place that we want to gather more. They could only collect one for a day at a time. In this wilderness journey, brethren, let's live one day at a time. He is teaching us to appreciate each day, not to gather more for the other days. It will be swamped by worms, it will be rotten. We don't need to miss the joy of today because we worry about tomorrow. We don't need to lose our mind of what is coming next year. We are alive, we have a life to live, a joyful life to live. Live with what you need, not what you greed for. May God bless your hearts as you learn this manner testimony. It's a ministry and you can learn more about it. But God is in control and God will really take care of you. I know my elder has a song to come sing. I don't know. But I know what I know will sing. Now I know we are not alone and God will take care of you. Beneath his wings of love abide. God will take care of you. Just live one day at a time. Because the general, the master pilot, he is guiding the ship. Yes. We are not afraid. And I tell you personally, I am not. Because I walk around and I am alive. And I have to thank God for that. I have to appreciate what God has done to me. Then I'm sick of all those things God has given me. May God bless your hearts as Elder comes here to sing and pray. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. I hope and trust that we have gathered food for thought today. I always remember the songs that God helped us to sing them. And the song is 442. And this is in line with this sermon that we have heard here today. Oh, God will take care of God will take care of us. And we are traveling in a land. We are just pilgrims and strangers here. And as we're traveling through this land of war, God will take care of us. 442 to close the time for us.
How sweet are the tidings that greet the pilgrim here as we wander through exile from home. Soon, soon will the Savior in glory appear, and soon will the kingdom come. It's coming, coming, it's coming soon, I know. Coming back to this land again, and the weary pilgrim will to glory go, and the Savior comes to reign. The mossy old grave where the pilgrims sleep shall be open as wide as before, and the millions asleep in the mighty deep shall live on this earth once more. It's coming, coming, it's coming soon, I know. Coming back
Christ is coming? Are we ready? Are we truly ready to meet Him? Let us purpose in our hearts that by God's grace, as we travel, as we wander in this sinful world, help us to not wander wanderless, but let us have Jesus Christ, which is our pilot, to lead us through this land of war. May God bless us. Let us pray to close this part of our service. Father in heaven, we want to thank you, Lord, for the time that we have spent with you. We want to thank you for the assurance in your word, knowing that you will keep us. Help us to realize that we are just pilgrims passing through. And as we live from day to day, you will help us to be disciplined to follow your will. Thank you for hearing our prayers. Bless everyone that is traveling through the uncertainty of this world. Give us wisdom and patience to go through. These mercies we ask in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
We want to thank all of you. Thank you, Pastor, for words of encouragement, words of life. We're asking you that you will continue to pray for us. Let us call each other. Let us keep in touch with each other. Also, we will be back here on Wednesday evening for prayer meeting. Let us also remember that we need to pray. We need to pray for this situation and the conditions that we face today. Also, Friday evening will be another Vesper service, and Sabbath we will go forward. We will receive phone calls from Pastor and myself what needed to take place next week. Let us come prepared. Let us join in this time. May God bless you. Have a wonderful day for the remaining of the Sabbath.
Amen.
God bless. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. You're welcome now. All right. Maybe not the good I